Okay, I want to show you how to create lower thirds. Lower thirds are the graphics that we include to add a name and a title when you have someone who's being interviewed. So it's a way that you let the audience know exactly who they are in case they didn't catch their name earlier. So to do that, we have a project file already created in Premiere. We also have to take a look at a folder I've created in Documents, a lower thirds. This is my project folder. Remember, it's important to be very organized so that in case you need to use a different computer, or maybe you're just worried about having lost some file somewhere, you're going to avoid a lot of problems by having one folder that contains everything you need. So I have lower thirds here. This is my project. I have not only the project file in there, but I also have all my voiceovers, my B-roll, and my interviews there. Now for the 5-shot method project, you're not going to have any voiceover, but you definitely will as we get into the next project, so just be aware this is the setup for that. Now I already have a file imported into interviews, so I'm going to open that up and I'm going to import it. I also want to have the graphics that are involved with this, and so I'm going to go to Finder, and just like you, I have to go find those graphics. Those graphics are located in the video audio folder. And I also have the graphics in News Lower Thirds. There's a PNG called lowerthirds.png that's saved there. So under News Lower Thirds, it's Lower Thirds PNG. I'm going to copy that. I'm hitting Command C. You could also just go to Edit and Copy. And then I'm going to go back to Documents, go back in my lower thirds, and I'm going to create another folder, just in case I have a few, that's entitled Graphics. I'm going to place this item, this lower thirds, in my graphics folder. So I'm hitting Command V, and it's added it there. So I want to take this and I want to put it in my project bin. Okay. Now just so you know, if you want to organize this even further, you could have separate bins for your voiceover, for your, excuse me, I have to get rid of that one, for your interviews, for your graphics, whatever you want. I'm going to take this and actually organize a little bit more. That means if I have, say, 50 different clips, I'm not looking at all of them in my project, and I can just go straight to interviews and know which parts are the interviews. Now I'm going to drop an interview in my timeline. This is of Mr. Lovenstein. So we're looking at this.
My one-to-one classroom looks like a mixture of a traditional classroom and a computer lab-based classroom.
I'm actually going to stop right there. I'm just going to look at this one clip. Turn that down. Looking at that one clip, we can see that he is kind of over on the, if we're looking at the composition here, over on the left-hand side. He's facing off to the right. We're going to throw in the graphic over the top of him for about the first 5 seconds. So there's a graphic. This is a lower thirds graphic. They look the same for everybody. So there we have the graphic. Now, this is the part where it gets a little bit touchy. And so you're going to have selected the graphic. See how it turns a darker purple? So you have the graphic selected. If you're having a hard time seeing if you want to be magnified, you can always drag this over. Now we've magnified it a little bit. So we've got that selected again. Then we go to motion up here. This is under Effect Controls, Motion. And then the scale has to stay the same, but we're going to change the position. So the position is going to be over here at about 418. And then this has to be lower right here. So 418 and 607. That's where you want to place this. So it's okay that this isn't off toward the edge completely. Sometimes they do float like this, and the reason that I want to do it this way is that there's the possibility that it could get cut off if it's too close to the edge. So you have to be careful. Okay, so we've changed the position to 418 and 607. The scale is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Now we're going to have to create a new title. To create a title, and this is going to include his name and his title, all we do is click on New Item and Title. I'm going to change this to Lobenstein, third. Actually, lower third. There we are. Now, just so you can see this, my timeline selector here should be over the area where I have the graphic. We need to see that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add a font here. Okay, the font, I'm just going to click right here on text. The font is going to have his name. It's going to be Brad Lobenstein, just his name. And then the font I can change by going up here. It should be Avenir. And when you're using Avenir, I'd like you to use medium, please. So Avenir medium. This also should be a different color, and so we're going to use the orange here. The orange is pretty simple. I can use this eyedropper tool. I can click on that under Fill, and then click on the orange that is on the title graphic, or the lower third graphic. Also, this right here should be about 60, remember correctly? Oops, I don't remember correctly. I think it should be a little bit bigger than that. So let's find out right now. Okay. So that should be about 73 for the font. And then I want you to create a new piece of text. And go anywhere, we'll drag it later on. So I clicked on the text tool, clicked over here. Now we're going to call him what? He's an English teacher, right? So English teacher. I'm highlighting all of that. I can use the pointer to do that, the text selection tool, but I can also just hit Command A. And then I'm going to change this to black. So I'm going to click on the orange that's right here. That's the color of the fill. I'm going to take it all the way up to black. So this should say 0, 0, 0, or 6 zeros here. Hit OK. This is actually going to be smaller. So I'll pull this down here. It should be about half the size. So if that was 73, let's just make this about 35. Looks a little bit small to me again, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Alright, so that looks like it's 41. I'm going to publish these for you later on, so you're going to have both of them. Alright, I'm going to step back here, look at this. I'm kind of figuring out some of it as I go as well. Why don't we do this? I'd like to see Mr. Lobenstein's name bolded. So, oh, I didn't find this before. I want it to be heavy. There we go. That's what I want to see. Okay, so you've got the two colors. This is an orange color that I used the eyedropper tool to find. It was right here in this area. And then black down here. So Brad Lobenstein, English teacher. His name and then his title at the bottom. They should be lined up with this line right here. Okay, see that inner line right there? So they shouldn't be any further to the left than that. Now, I'm going to close it, and then we'll see there's nothing there, right? But if I go back here to my Lobenstein lower third title, it ended up saving my graphics here. I can take it and I can drag it up into video 3. So I had the original interview here in video 1, video 2 contains the graphic, and video 3 contains the lower third itself. Now we've got it. Let's play it.
My one-to-one classroom looks like a mixture of a traditional classroom and a computer lab-based classroom.
That's exactly what needs to happen. Now that you're done, you can save it. And let's do a quick reminder as to how to export. Anytime you're exporting, export media. We're going to do H.264 because we like the quality of this. HD 720, 29.97. Change the output name. We're actually going to take this, and remember, whenever you save it somewhere, you're saving it in the assignment folder, so follow the 2013 assignments. And we've got a new 5-shot folder. It's called 5-shot 2. That's where this one goes. But you always have to be careful about where you're saving. Make sure it's in the most recent assignment folder. We have to change the name of it. So remember, you put your name there. So I'm going to put Lowenstein. And then I'm going to type in computers. Then I want my name in there too. So I'm going to put Julie Tedens. You'll put your first and last name in as well. Notice this says MP4. The one that we see over here isn't an MP4, so that obviously was saved incorrectly. I'm going to hit save, and then we're going to click on export. Now it'll export it, and everything should be good. Let's just double check to see how it looks, because that's always really important. I'm going to go to Finder now that it's done saving. Good thing it was a short file, right? Go to Video Audio, then we're going to go into the Fall 2013 assignments, 5-shot 2, and then let's take a look if this worked. So, Lowenstein Computers, my name. Click twice on it.
My one-to-one classroom looks like a mixture of a traditional classroom and a computer lab-based classroom.
Perfect. So, about 5 seconds. Remember, doesn't take very long. This itself is probably going to be about 5 seconds just for the lower thirds. You can change that length by taking a look at this by doing a right click or control plus click, and then take a look at speed duration. You'll see right here it automatically put it in as 5 seconds. That's the duration. If for some reason you wanted to change a little bit, like say for example make this 6 seconds, you can do that. Just make sure that video 3 and video 2 are the same length. Alright, that's all I have for you. Pretty simple.